Hi, I'm Joe Anderson, founder and CEO of Reflex Protect. Our mission is the alleviation of unnecessary suffering due to violence for everyone, everywhere. And recently, I did a deep dive type of webinar for our Republic campaign at republic.co/reflex-protect that really got into the details of what we do and how we do it. And I got an email shortly thereafter that said, I really enjoyed this webinar. Can you do something that's a little shorter, a little more to the point that I can share with other people to give them reason then to want to go in and do that deep dive? And I said, sure. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to just talk about what we do, why it's important, and why you should think about investing in the company. So first is what we do, which is the alleviation of unnecessary suffering from violence for everyone, everywhere. Now, how do you take on a task like that? Well, with us, there are four major points to the Reflex Protect active defense solution that provide the basis for us pursuing our mission. The first is our patented reflex technology spray head. This is the foundation of it all, just this spray head right here. We have two patents on this. We have both a utility patent and a design patent. This is the technology that Safariland, which is one of the largest suppliers of gear to law enforcement in the country, in the world really, referred to as the most significant innovation in less than lethal since the invention of the taser. And what it really allows you to do is have a very easy, intuitive, operational, accurate product that allows you to have a laser-like aim with your device. And it's easy for anyone to use. And it comes with a docking station that allows it to be essentially like a fire extinguisher is to fire. In that response gap between the eruption of the emergency, the fire in the case of a fire extinguisher, violence in the case of Reflex Protect, you're able to do something to help stop the emergency and get to safety or do whatever you need to do before help arrives, whether it's law enforcement, fire department, whatever it might be. That was the fundamental basis of what we started with. And where we first took it was to healthcare, because healthcare has a serious workplace violence problem. 70% of workplace violence claims for injuries occur in the healthcare field. It's a dangerous place, and part of that is they have no way to defend themselves. They can't use like pepper sprays or tear gases or things like that because they'll cross-contaminate the environment, get into the HVAC. So they really had nothing besides actual hands-on contact. And that was a problem too, because in many cases, the person that's about to commit the violence or committing the violence is a patient. Might be delusional, might be inebriated, could be any number of reasons. And the caregiver doesn't deserve to get hurt, but she also wants to be able to exercise compassionate control over this potentially violent situation. And so they really liked what we had, but they needed something that was different from pepper spray. And so that brings us to the second really important part of our technology, which is the Presidia gel. And that's what's inside all of our products that are on the defense side. Presidia gel is not a pepper spray. It is a new innovative formula that is very rapid onset. It doesn't atomize. It doesn't get all over the place. It sticks to what it hits. So it's got a targeted aim. And it's also, again, fast onset, and it's reversible, which is key because that allowed nurses to exercise that type of compassionate control. Looks like something's going to get violent. You just immediately spray the person. No one else in the area is affected whatsoever. That person takes a knee, and as soon as you are then able to assure that the threat has ended, you're able to reverse it. And that came to the third part. They wanted it to be readily reversible, and so that's why we invented, and we now have a patent pending, on Reflex Remove. Reflex Remove is the best decontaminant ever invented for things like tear gas and pepper spray. Of course, it's meant to be used primarily on our own Presidia gel to close that loop of compassionate control that healthcare needed. And so once we had done that, of course, we realized we needed the fourth part of the equation, which is the training elements. We couldn't just go into a hospital and give these to folks and say, hey, great, you're on your own. They had insurance issues. They had all kinds of issues to say, for the first time ever, we're going to use an active defense solution in our hospital. So we had to create a very robust training campaign for them. And then we have since extended that campaign, especially during the last few months during COVID-19, to be completely online. So it's now safety as a service platform, a subscription model that you can sign up for that's basically a turnkey anti-violence safety preparedness solution. And you can get that wholly online. It comes with all 4 parts: the Reflex technology, the Presidia gel, the Reflex remove antidote, and full training, policies, procedures, and the like. Once we had achieved that goal, we immediately started seeing other markets opening up. Schools found it to be a really universally agreeable solution to the arm the teachers debate. Houses of worship began implementing it. Small businesses, all kinds of places, basically anywhere that you can imagine a potential violent incident occurring, you could have this here, just like you would have a fire extinguisher anywhere that you expected there might be the potential fire. So what really then becomes the size of the solution? At first we thought, or the size of the market for the solution, at first we thought we're going to create this entire sort of non-professional market, people who aren't in law enforcement or professional security, who can now protect themselves during that response gap, during that time between the eruption of violence and the arrival of help, whether it's security or law enforcement. We'll have that whole environment. But at the same time, you'll remember Safariland, that thought this was the most significant innovation since the invention of the taser. They said, you know, we really love this spray head. We'd like to put it on some law enforcement products ourselves for pepper sprays, because we think it's just a better deployment device. So we entered into an agreement with them last October, partnered with them to begin sharing it with law enforcement. And they're also going to make a bear spray for us here a little bit later this year once our EPA approvals go through. So that began to open up some opportunities in law enforcement. And then at the same time that that was beginning to happen, we created the Pocket Presidia gel. Now, this was originally because nurses said on most days, the most dangerous part of their day is the walk to and from the car at shift change. They wanted something they could have in their purses or pockets to carry with them. Turns out that the folks at home who had been using this as an alternative to a gun in a nightstand drawer and another option for defense at home also wanted something when they were out and about, jogging, hiking. But what this also is a terrific, target-specific, rapid onset, and reversible form of controlling force that fits right into the existing holsters on every law enforcement officer's duty belt in the country, and is a substitute for the pepper spray that they presently have, or that many of them carry, and that has limitations on how well it can be used, because if you use pepper spray, you frequently get yourself and your partner and the bad guy or innocent bystanders. Now, again, they have this opportunity for a very focused approach that they didn't have before. So we began to see a whole increase, and we have recently now opened Reflex Protect Tactical to take on the law enforcement side. So when we're talking about how big the market is, originally we were talking about the non-professional markets, which is 113,000 hospitals and clinics in the country, and we're now considered best practices for anti-violent safety preparedness in those places. Some 59,000 schools, and we're growing in popularity as a solution to the arm the teachers debate there. 49,000 churches or other houses of worship. And then there's also some 28 million other small businesses and 120 million American homes, all of which could use a device or a system and solution to give them a sense of peace of mind that they can protect themselves during the response gap should violence occur around them. Those are obviously huge markets, but when you add to that the law enforcement side of some 800,000 police officers, not to mention private security, potentially military, all kinds of other uses for it, you realize that this is truly a multi-billion-dollar opportunity, let alone when you go internationally with it, to provide a really innovative, new, and much safer solution to protect people in potentially violent situations without causing excess harm, without causing unnecessary suffering. So why now? Why invest now in Reflex Protect? And of course, you know, all startups are risky. All of the disclaimers that we all make are true, and you shouldn't invest if you can't afford to lose it. However, some are less likely or less risky than others, and some become less risky over time. And we're in that mode. We are no longer, I mean, we're still doing R&D on new things, but it's not like we need to come up with our solution. We have a solution, it's in place, it's going out into stores now, into the retail outlets, as well as being available for institutional sales. Now is the time for growth and expansion. And that's why we're doing the Republic campaign, to raise money to be able to take our product nationwide, very broadly, and to take advantage of our intellectual property and our first mover status into this arena, especially the non-professional market, but also as an opportunity in law enforcement for a substitute for pepper spray, and especially just anyone, anywhere that finds themselves subject to not just Presidia gel, but pepper spray or tear gas is going to want to have Reflex removed. So now is the opportunity for us to get out there and really move our product into the American consciousness and eventually into the international consciousness. So if you join us at republic.co/reflex-protect, or take a visit to our website at reflexprotect.com, you can learn more about what we're doing, why we're raising money, and why we think that we are appropriate for a relatively early exit strategy. Because companies like Safariland, we're essentially a farm club for. We're building new innovative technology, creating new markets, and there are many companies like them that are larger, non-lethal self-defense product companies or other defense entities that we could easily see a merger or acquisition into, or we could see private capital come in to allow us to grow by acquisition ourselves, horizontally or vertically. So it's a great opportunity to get in on a rapidly growing business that does have a relatively specific set of exit strategy opportunities in the not too distant future. So it's the right place, right time. We've got the right stuff and the right team, and I do urge you to check us out to get the details on all of that. And we're going to be on the right side of history when it comes to addressing violence. So thanks for your time, and I look forward to hearing any questions that arise out of this. Have a great day. Thanks.